The phone rang late at night. The kind of late when silence feels heavy and every sound carries meaning. Her name lit up my screen, and for a second I just stared at it. She was on a work trip, 3 cities away, in a hotel she'd complained about earlier for being too cold and too quiet. I answered before I could overthink it. "I'm so tired," she said, her voice soft and worn. "And I miss you." Those words used to melt me. I could picture her sitting on the edge of the hotel bed, shoes kicked off, hair loose, the day finally catching up to her. But that night, something inside me stayed stiff and alert, like a bruise you keep touching to see if it still hurts. I saw how you... I started, then stopped. There was a pause. A long one. I could hear her breathing on the other end, slow and careful now, like she already knew what I was about to say. "Saw how I what?" she asked, forcing a small laugh. Earlier that day, a mutual friend had sent me a video by accident. At least, that's what he claimed. It was short, shaky, taken in bad lighting at some rooftop bar. But it was clear enough. Clear enough to see her hand on someone else's arm. Clear enough to see the way she leaned in, laughing, too close to be innocent. Clear enough to see a side of her I wasn't supposed to know about. "I saw how you looked at him," I said quietly. "The way you touched his arm like you touched mine." Silence crashed down again. This time it felt heavier, sharper. "That wasn't what it looked like," she said quickly. Too quickly. "It was just a colleague. We were all drinking. You know how these things get blown out of proportion." I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. I sat on the edge of our couch, the one we picked together because it was neutral. Not too firm, not too soft. The one she said we'd grow old on someday. I rubbed my thumb along the seam and tried to match the person on the screen with the person in my memory. "Why didn't you tell me you were going out?" I asked. "I didn't think it mattered," she replied. "I didn't want to worry you." That sentence landed wrong. It always does when someone uses it as a shield. "I'm not worried," I said. "I'm confused." She sighed, the sound full of frustration and something else. Fear, maybe. "I'm exhausted. Can we not do this right now?" I called because I needed you. That hurt more than the video. Because I realized she didn't call to be honest. She called to feel comforted, to feel safe, without having to face what she'd done. "I am here," I said, "but I can't pretend I didn't see it." Her voice softened again, almost pleading. "Nothing happened, I swear. Don't let one stupid moment ruin everything." One stupid moment. That's what people call the moment that changes everything. I thought about all the little things I'd ignored before this trip. The way she'd started guarding her phone. How she'd seemed distracted when I talked about the future. How she'd kissed me goodbye a little too quickly at the airport. "Did you miss me before you called?" I asked suddenly. "What do you mean?" she said. "Did you miss me?" I repeated. "Or did you feel lonely?" Another pause. This one answered more than words ever could. "I do miss you," she said eventually. "But I don't know." Being away made me think. "About him?" I asked. "About us," she corrected, but it sounded rehearsed. I leaned back and stared at the ceiling. I realized then that I wasn't angry the way I thought I'd be. I was tired. Tired of guessing. Tired of filling in gaps she kept leaving open. "I saw how you looked at him," I said again, calmly this time. "And I know that look. You don't give it unless you're already halfway gone." "That's not fair," she snapped. "You're judging me based on a few seconds." "No," I said. "I'm judging based on how easy it was for you to cross that line." Her breath hitched. "So what are you saying?" I closed my eyes. The answer felt heavy but clear. "I'm saying I can't be the person you come back to for comfort, while you figure out who else you want." The words hung between us, fragile and final. "So you're giving up?" she asked, her voice trembling now. "I'm letting go," I said. "There's a difference." She started crying then, quietly at first, then harder. The kind of crying that usually pulls me back in. I almost did. Almost reached through the phone with promises and patience. But I remembered the video. I remembered the pause when I asked if she missed me. "I never meant to hurt you," she whispered. "I believe that," I replied. "But you did." We stayed on the line for a few more minutes, not saying much. When we finally hung up, the apartment felt too quiet, but also strangely peaceful. That night I didn't sleep much, but for the first time in a long while, I wasn't waiting for my phone to buzz. I already knew the truth, and somehow, that was enough to start moving forward.